Imagine if you could control a computer with your mind, communicate telepathically, and download thoughts directly into your brain. Today we're taking a look at brain chips and mind control. The sci-fi future is here. Let's dive in. Let's start with what our BCIs, or brain-computer interfaces. BCIs are devices that can be implanted into the brain to record and stimulate brain activity. They consist of a sensor to detect neural activity, an electrode to stimulate the brain, and a wireless transmitter to send and receive data. They are typically powered by a small battery that can be recharged by placing the device near a charging pad. BCIs have been around for decades, but recent breakthroughs have made them smaller, more efficient, and less invasive. So what are some of these breakthroughs? Well, let's take a look at two examples. First, restoring movement in paralyzed patients using a robotic arm. Clinical trials have shown that BCIs can help people who have lost the ability to move their arms due to spinal cord injuries. By implanting a BCI into the brain, doctors can then decode the neural signals that the brain is sending to the arm and translate them into movement of the robotic arm. This allows the patient to regain some of their independence and perform tasks that they were no longer able to do before. Another breakthrough is allowing gamers to play video games using only their minds. By placing an EEG headset on their head, which doesn't require surgery or implantation, the BCI can read the neural signals in the brain while the person is playing a game. These signals can then be used to control the game, such as moving a character or shooting a gun. This opens up new possibilities for gaming and entertainment, but it also has practical applications too. For example, BCIs could one day be used to help people with disabilities to interact with the world around them more easily. Now that sounds great, right? Well, there is a dark side to this technology. As with any powerful technology, there are those who would seek to use it for nefarious purposes. Imagine a world where hackers can attack your BCI and gain access to your most personal thoughts and memories. Or a dystopian future where governments or corporations use BCIs to control the population. In an interview with Y Combinator President Sam Altman said, "I think the danger is very real. We've seen recently with what's going on in China, with people being put in camps and having their behaviors modified. There is an authoritarian government that wants to put a BCI in everybody's head. That's not a good thing." So, how likely is this dystopian future? Well, let's talk about the three biggest risks associated with BCI technology. The first risk is the possibility of hacking. As we've already discussed, BCIs could be hacked to gain access to sensitive information or to control the user. But this is something that the developers of BCI technology are taking seriously. They're developing ways to make BCIs more secure, such as encrypting the data that is transmitted between the BCI and the computer. The second risk is the potential for misuse by governments or corporations. Again, this is something that has already started to happen in countries like China, where the government has been using facial recognition technology to track and identify citizens. But it's important to remember that BCI technology is still in its early stages. It will be years, if not decades, before it's widely available. And hopefully during that time, we can work on developing safeguards to prevent the worst-case scenarios from happening. The third risk is the possibility that BCIs could create a divide between those who have the technology and those who do UNT. This could lead to a situation where only the wealthy elite can afford BCI technology and the rest of the population is left behind. This is another risk that needs to be carefully considered as BCI technology develops. Well, despite these risks, the potential benefits of BCI technology are just too great to ignore. Imagine a world where BCIs are commonplace and people use them to enhance their lives in all sorts of ways. They could use them to learn new skills quickly, to communicate more effectively, or to access entertainment and information instantaneously. BCIs could also be used to treat neurological disorders such as Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and epilepsy. In fact, clinical trials have already shown that BCIs can help people with Parkinson's disease to control their symptoms. Speaking of clinical trials, let's take a look at where BCI technology is heading in the future. One company, Second Opinion, has developed a BCI that can be implanted into the brain during surgery for epilepsy. The BCI can then record the brain activity of the patient and alert the surgeon to the presence of an epileptic focus. This allows the surgeon to remove the part of the brain that is causing the seizures, which can greatly improve the quality of life for the patient. Another company, Kernel, is developing a BCI that can be worn as a headband. This BCI will be able to record brain activity from multiple locations in the brain simultaneously without the need for surgery or implantation. This will make it much easier to study brain activity and will open up new possibilities for BCI technology. So what does the future hold for BCI technology? Well, here's my prediction. In 2050, BCIs will be commonplace, and people will use them to enhance their lives in all sorts of ways. We'll be able to access the internet wirelessly by simply thinking about it. We'll be able to control our phones and other devices with our minds, and we'll be able to communicate telepathically with each other. BCIs will also be used to treat neurological disorders and to study the human brain like never before. In short, the future of BCIs is bright. What do you think the future of BCIs will be? Will they change the world as we know it? Or will they be just a passing fad? Let Let me know in the comments below, and if you liked this video, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.